Hey, happy day. I just wanted to share some musings with you, so perhaps relevant to the current energies. I have been making effort in many small ways to make better choices. Um, so, being aware of breathing more consciously, more deeply, uh, slowing down, doing things more carefully, with more presence and awareness, and yeah, just hacking them. So it's like layering your clothing. I'm just putting one garment on after the other, and at some point, I will feel the warmth of the accumulated effects of adding each of those layers. So, one of the things I've added into my morning is doing 20 minutes to half an hour of mantra work. So what I do is I find a mantra on YouTube and a meditation, and I listen to that. It's usually with music, and I find because of the repetitiveness of the mantra or the music, I'm able to work with my breath and go into a little bit of a spaced out state of being, which is very relaxing and calming. It helps my mind order itself, it calms my nervous system down, and I feel more prepared and ready and set to go out into the day, calmer. Yes. And today I listened to a mantra that is Om Mani Padme Mi Hum. And I just thought I'd share what this means with you, and I will. Well, you can go on YouTube and find your own version to listen to. There are different kinds. Some are chanting. Some are in a more musical form. Some are just more of a voice harmonizing form. So, is the sound or vibration of the universe, the source sound. It is meant to destroy attachments to ego and establish generosity. And I can't help thinking it encompasses the state of compassion, which is self love, and therefore love for the all. And then we have Ma, which removes the attachment to jealousy and establishes ethics. So those would be things like your sankalpas, your promises to yourself, your self integrity, and always when you honor something in yourself, you naturally reflect that through others. And are more, it's more in your frame of reference when you experience what you are giving out when it's reflected back at you. Then Ni, it removes the attachment to desire and establishes patience. But it removes the attachment to prejudice, so prejudgment, and I'll talk about that a bit more because that was one of the words that highlighted for me to mention, and establishes perseverance. And I might post a link about judgment in the video in the bio below. Me removes attachment to possessiveness and establishes concentration. And here the word possessiveness jumped out because of all those S's. And again, I'll get back to that in the notes and commentaries after I finish this bit. And establishes concentration. Hum removes the attachment to hatred and establishes wisdom. So it allows you to let go of being in the victim mode, perhaps, and go into your inner knowing and belief in the all that is and powers that are greater than us that we often need to lean into. That's like the wind beneath our wings. So and then the word hatred in that line also popped out. So let's look at those three words. So the first one is prejudice, prejudice, Judas relating to law and structure, ways and means that we should be living our lives and how we judge things, what criteria we apply. And so, what do we do before, and how do we assess things before we've had the interpersonal engagement or experience, or integrated with a situationship. So it's has to do with attaching an idea to something before it's allowed itself to manifest. So it's a form of control and predetermination, controlled and manipulated predetermination, rather than flowing as things naturally unfold. That allows you to be more in the fullness of everything and be in your sense of pure potentiality, or be your seed of pure potentiality. Um, so like I said, I might attach, if I can find the appropriate one, video on judgment. Then I'll add that, just if you need more insight on the judgment aspect of this. But if you scroll through the videos, you will find, or search for them, you will find a number of videos relating to judgment of others, and self judgment. Then the next word was possess. So all those S's gave me that two things. It gave me the sense of a snake because of this, and also then that feeling of being chained to something. So it's almost like a boa constrictor wrapping around you and squashing you and keeping you stuck and limited. And it also brought to mind the snake that eats its own tail, which is related to the Ouroboros. And it kind of has that feeling of being aware of limitations, and the idea that what we possess in turn possesses us. So our possessions actually possess us. In fact, what comes to mind is the number of times I've heard people over time wanting and wishing to complete or work towards dreams or goals that they might have had, and now they find they might have wanted to travel, and now they find they overwhelmingly desire that. However, what happens is they've got debt, they've got a house, they've got pets, they've got family they're responsible for, etc., etc. So just bear in mind, or determine whether you possess or whether you are possessed, and allow yourself the freedom in whichever regard is related to that. And then the final word, in order to keep this succinct and short, is, and not waffle on too much, is the word is hatred. And if we break that up, we get hat, red. And hat is interesting, that if we look at it symbolically, a hat is something you wear on your head. So it draws attention to the higher reasonings. So it would relate to law, it would relate to structure, it would relate to Saturn energy, hierarchy, rules, systems. And, it's like judgment, a form of governing. So you get a top hat. So are we using too much mental powers in our judgment, rather than compassion, acceptance, and tolerance through our powers of loving? The heart chakra. And then red refers to anger, power, fury, force, fire. And so hat red, it's an interesting word. I really love words. When we break them up or look at them differently, they can take on a whole new meaning and context, and certainly symbolically, or symbolically, it helps us understand the layers and the matrix, and how many dimensions there are to any one aspect. And actually, it reminds me of something that came up yesterday. Yesterday's thought was about black and white, how things can be black and white. And if that is the case, if things can be black and white, well, that means they can be grey too, because if you mix black and white, what do you get? you get grey. So things are black and white and every shade of grey, and that is just what it is. Um, so, with that to ruminate on today and ponder and contemplate, wish you a happy day. Namaste in Lakesh.